Hey, Dutchy, show us your junk.
What the f?
You're an idiot. Well, g'day everybody and welcome back. And we are here today with Dutchy and his brand spanking new 2017. Are they still calling it a 17? Or are they calling it an 18?
No, it's 2018.
2018 Kawasaki Z900RS.
Correct.
Correct. And how long have you had it, Dutch?
About a week.
Right. And what can you tell us about the bike, your first impressions?
First impressions are it feels tiny
Compared to Blaster?
compared to Blaster. It steers exceptionally fast. It's got good acceleration. The brakes are fantastic. Will stop on a dime. All round, very comfy to ride, whereas I used to get off the Blaster and my shoulders and neck would be aching. This thing, no such problem. Controls are all easy to see and use. There are a few improvements which I'll make on her in time, but I'm absolutely loving it. And having owned one in 1973, they are worlds apart.
Yeah. Well, I think that where there's a bit of congestion about these bikes is you hear the keyboard warriors. I should have had twin shocks. They should have done this. They should have done that. But the reality is that they're not trying to build a 1970 something Z900. This is a nod. This is a homage to the styles of the bike. So they've kept the mono shock and the fork arrangement that they've got on there because it handles like a modern bike.
Exactly right. I must admit, I look on Facebook and I see the so-called experts who talk about Quacker 9s. Most of them have never owned one. The first time I ever rode a Quacker 9 in 1973, I got to the first corner and thought, what the hell have I bought? It just would not go around the corner. Whereas this, it does everything you want it to do. It goes where you steer it, and you don't have to work hard.
Well, I think that's a very good point, because there's a lot of guys now who either couldn't afford one back in the day or weren't old enough to have one back in the day but coveted them because they were seen to be the first of the Japanese super bikes outside of the 754. It was the first really sort of big bike, and had they actually ridden one back then, they'd have been in for a hell of a shock.
Definitely. Yeah. As I said, first time I rode one, I wondered, first corner I got into, the frame was like it was made out of elastic, and she just did not want to steer through that corner. Yeah. So initially you'd go through a corner in one of these, the original 1973 bike, and it just would not steer. And in time you just learned to compensate. You did things to it. You changed the shocks, you put steering dampeners on them, and there was a lot of work went into making them handle.
But these are essentially the same platform as the Z900.
Yes, they are.
Cosmetically they're different. They had to change the subframe to level the seat down a little bit, and they've detuned the motor slightly to give it more mid-range torque. But essentially it's the same bike as the Z900. I think they've done a very, very good job of giving a nod, I guess, to the original 1972 was the Z1 was 72.
Yeah, 72.
Yeah, I think they've done a very good job with the paint job especially, but the tank is beautiful. The thing that I love about this bike is it looks like a motorbike, doesn't look like a jet ski. Which, let's face it, modern bikes do. So it looks like a motorbike to me, and I guess the people of our vintage are going to appreciate that.
Well, having ridden the new Z9 and comparing it to this, this is far better, and it does the job a lot better. And although the horsepower rating on this is not as much, it's still over 100 horsepower, 112 I believe. but it's just a better feeling and better handling bike, I think.
So you've already started to accessorise.
Yes, I have.
So we've got the... How old's that and what's that off? What did you skin to get that?
That came off the blaster.
Right, okay.
And it's my sheepy.
Right, okay.
And it keeps my tush warm.
Keeps his tush warm, I'll tell you. Old man. And we've got a...
Well, we
sort of slapped that on there.
This tank bag was bought for Sharina's bike,
Yep.
the original 250 she had, and it served her quite well. Seat bag, sorry. And then looking at it in the shed, and I thought that might fit on the 9. So I turned around and put it on, and it works perfectly. And I'm not putting a Ventura rack on it. I have no intentions of changing the back end, and I think the Ventura rack would ruin the look of the bike.
Yeah.
And this does everything.
I agree. I think that the styling cues on that taillight assembly are one of the best reproductions in terms of the retro bikes, because it really does look like the original 9. However, we've got the LED light in there, which it still aesthetically looks like the original Kawasaki setup, but it's very bright and ultra modern. And the same with the headlight, 6 segments, very bright. When we were getting a bit of road footage earlier, I thought that you may have been on high beam. That's how bright it looked in my mirror. So that's very good. So we've got a throttle lock fitted?
Yes, that's for my wrist, over distance. My intentions are, I've got the mount for the GoPro, which fits quite neatly between the the Taco and the Speedo. I've ordered a Kawasaki set of heated grips. There is a Kawasaki radiator guard coming. I've also ordered Kawasaki engine bars to protect the engine if she falls over. I'm also putting on a chrome rail like the original at the back here. And I've also ordered an Akrapovic exhaust.
Yeah.
I'm not going to cut the cat like I do normally. I want to leave it stock. It is a nice system. It has a good note to it. And basically my safety device for the back here, the number plate, which we all know works wonderfully.
We won't speak of that.
No. And there's a couple of other little things I want to do to it, like, for example, the water lines. I want to get them done in a silver braid and metal. And I may take those guards, the silver guards, and the guards here, and have them, and the front guard, I may have them done in a carbon wrap.
Yeah.
But that'll come in time.
I think that they've done a very good job of giving you that retro feel about the motor too. They've polished the top of the cylinder head here where the camshaft bearings are, just to make it look like the original Z1 motor, and same with these addition of these cooling fins that are polished. I think that it's done very well. The badge on the tank's beautiful, and it's got that brushed aluminium look that was on the original bike. And this colour scheme is brilliant. Brilliant. Like, you park this next to a Z1 from 72, and very difficult to differentiate between the two at a glance, at a distance.
Yep.
But you were telling me Kawasaki are considering making this a limited edition.
Yes, I believe so. The first 130 came in
to
the country, to Australia in December. Within 2 hours they were gone, and luckily Sharina...
This was one of them?
One of them. I believe that there are only 2 others in the state. One is up in up the north, and that's a demo bike, and I know that Bikeworks has another one of these sitting on the shop floor. In February they say there is another 150 coming in, and there is a strong rumour that this will be a limited edition colour only. From then on you'll be getting the black and the green.
The green, yeah.
And they also make the cafe racer with the small fairing and in the Kawasaki green, and it looks quite good, but I felt that this was the bike to buy.
Oh, for sure. I don't think anyone would argue that.
And it'll be the first bike that's never had its back mudguard chopped off. I think it looks quite good. The same with the mirrors. I'm keeping the mirrors as they are.
Oh, mirrors look good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think the whole bike in its style, it takes me back to the days when I used to ride the original Quacker 9, and even though they were a lot of work, they were also a hell of a lot of fun.
Hell of a lot of fun, yeah. And I think the only thing that, I mean, I guess the biggest critics, including myself, sort of looked at the original bike as a concept and thought, yeah, 4x4 would be good, twin shocks would be good, but I don't agree with that now. Now, having seen the bike in the flesh, I don't agree with that. Yeah, the 4x4 would look very smart, and I'm sure that it'll only be a matter of time, if they're not producing them already in the aftermarket, that they will become available. Has an enormous catalytic converter underneath the motor, which would knock a lot of decibels out, I presume. You know, I don't know whether the Akrapovic's going to give a lot of benefit. I guess we'll find out when you get it on there.
Yeah.
In terms of noise, because the notes, the tone of the bike is beautiful, but it's not very loud.
I believe that they built 21. They built 21 exhausts for this bike before they settled on this one. The headers are triple skinned, so it stops that discolouring, because anybody that's owned a Quacker 9 knows that after a time they discoloured very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And the original pipes on the Quacker 9 were good, but the problem was that they didn't last long, and they would rust out pretty quickly in those days. These days, I believe they're a lot better.
They've nailed that dash.
Yes, they have.
It is beautiful.
And the dash being the fact that when you turn it on, this has traction control, ABS. It tells you how much fuel it's using currently. It gives you a range of your fuel, outside temperature. So it has all the added stuff that modern bikes do.
And modern day motorcycle owners expect. You know, when they go down to their local dealership and shell out good doll hairs for something like this, and let's face it, I mean, by the time you get it on the road, you're probably not that shy of about 18k.
The Z9 at the moment, the standard one, is 13.9. This is 17.9.
Right.
So
on road?
On road, right out the door.
Right out
17,990. The thing is with this, it's $4,000 basically extra for nostalgia, but money well spent, I think. I think that with me, my bikes have to be individual. They have to be a little different, and I feel that this bike meets all those requirements with me. Yeah,
no, that's a fair call. You're the one who's got to be happy with it. And I think that, you know, 18,000 Australian pesos for something like this is, as you say, money well spent. One of the other things that I think in terms of styling, so they got all of this tank side covers, perfect.
Yes.
Just perfect. Just look just like the original Z9, and the tail, instrument cluster, mirrors. Everything else, modern bike, modern bike behaviours, etc.
The other extras that you can get is a lower seat, which I'm looking at.
Yeah.
It's sculpted down a little further.
Sure.
Also, as I said before, the rail around the chrome rail, I think they should have made that as a standard item. But again, as we know, they don't make money on bikes. They make money on spares and accessories. And currently, there's very few accessories being made for this bike. I do know they've now made some company has built a 4-into-1 chrome that looks exactly like the original.
A 4-into-4?
4, yes.
Yeah, you said 4-into-1.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. 4-into-4. Yep. And also you can buy a centre stand for these.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm not getting a centre stand. I've got the pickup knobs at the back here,
and
I've got the race
paddock stand. So that's, you know, do you need a centre stand? They're obviously not the most attractive thing in the world when you put a centre stand on them. So,
and I think back to the early days, I think one of the first things to pull off my original Z9 was the centre stand.
Because it
went
scrapes
west
on the ground?
because I was scraping it all the time.
Yeah.
And I had a black chrome walker 4-into-1 on her, and it was set up properly so it would turn eventually, and I had it Yosha mirrored, so it was kitted, it was fast. The brakes, they were absolutely useless.
Yeah.
She just wouldn't pull up. And I've got to say, these brakes, the radial brakes on this, are absolutely fantastic. It will stop on a dime, as you'll find out later when you go for a ride.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Dutchy, for showing us your junk.
No worries, mate. Anytime. Are you sure you don't want the other bit of junk?
No, I don't need the other
You're
bit of
sure?
junk.
You're right?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely
fine.
positive. We try and keep this PG. But beautiful bike, and jealous as all hell. You know I want one, but I'm not in a position to afford one at the moment. But
You'll get one, mate.
anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment, and we'll catch you next time
Thank
on
you.
Andy's Motorcycle Obsessions. Bye for now.
Bye.